them.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What up? Whoa, dude, we're live, bro.
No, that's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at right now. What up, YouTube? It is episode 140 or issue 140 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us live here on YouTube. Welcome everyone who is watching live and anyone who is watching as a past episode. Welcome. Right out the bat, let's just get it out there. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and do definitely give us a like on this video so everyone can know that we're the shit. That we're just awesome and
WeTheBomb.com.
We the bomb, yo. Anyway, we'll take care of some business and then we'll get into this week's comics, which I felt kind of a little bit of a roller coaster. There were some really good ones and there were some that were just kind of okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything that was like absolutely trash, but I didn't read Night Terrors, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, yeah. Well, I did read Night Terrors #1 and it was trash.
Oopsie. Anyway, let's get to the business. Let's talk about our show's sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is Nate and I's LCS, where we get our comics in the Fort Worth location, but they also have a location in Keller, and they will be having a location open in Irving very soon.
It's open.
Well, it's open. They had a soft open, but they haven't had their grand opening yet.
Yeah, it was. But let me tell you, the shop is anything but soft. All right,
is dope, right? Is dope.
It's hard.
And actually, I need to message Ron and Brent because Brent sent out an invitation to us to have for letting us to run an actual podcast, a live show at the grand opening. So I need to get with him and make sure that our calendars align that we can do that. So hopefully we can get that worked out. But they have officially sent us an invitation. Brent sent us an invitation to set up our show out there live. So hopefully we can get that done. What a blast. So yeah, that's our LCS. They also have a website called brainycomics.com. We would love for you to head on over to brainycomics.com, where you can do all kinds of shopping for exclusive and variant covers, bad idea books, bundles, mystery bags, new comics, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards. Brainycomics.com should be your one and only one-stop shop for... I'm kidding. You can go anywhere you want for comics to buy online, but we'd love for you to go to brainycomics.com because I think Ron and Brent do a really good job of having an awesome shop here where you can get some really cool stuff and some really cool exclusives. So if you do a little bit of shopping, we'd love for you to do that. But then before you check out, we'd love for you to... I've said we love for you to do this because we really do. Type in Two Fat Guys Pull Us up in the search bar, press enter, and this is what's going to pop up. It is a Two Fat Guys Pull Us upgrade or premium upgrade. If you do the upgrade and put that in your basket, what you will get is one mystery exclusive variant cover in your shipment. If you do the premium for $15, you get 2. Now, if you notice, the regular plain old upgrade is $8 and the premium is $15. If you go back to the covers, most of these start at about $15. So you're already getting a great deal with the standard upgrade, but you're getting even a better deal if you do the 15 because most of these start at $15 value. If you do the premium for $15, you get 2 of them, man. So we would love for you to go over to brainycomics.com, do a little bit of shopping, make sure to put this upgrade in your cart before you check out, and then once your stuff comes in the mail, we would love for you to take a picture of it and tag us in it and let us know what you got so we can share it and let everybody know that you got a sick kick-ass deal from brainycomics.com from Brent and Ron over at Collected Comics and Games. All right, that's going to do it for that part of the business. We also need to talk about our sub goal giveaway. We're on the road to 950 subscribers. 950 subscribers. And when we hit 950 subscribers, we're giving away this bad boy, the CBCS 9.8 graded King in Black number 5 spoiler variant. It is a Ryan Stegman cover with Venom just being fucking kick-ass on there with all of it. Just all sorts of kinds of goodies. So when we hit 950 subscribers, we will be giving this away at 950. And y'all know who are here on the chat. We do give away slabs. Some of y'all have won them, and we try to take care of y'all. So again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a like. And as always, when we hit 1,000, which we are super close to doing, we're giving away the CBCS 9.8 graded Amazing Spider-Man number 4 Original Sin tie-in, the first appearance of Silk. And once this actor strike is done, hopefully this show will get situated and start on, this will become a very hot key very soon. So make sure to subscribe. We're giving that away at 1,000. All right, that's going to do it for today's business for the show. We're going to go ahead and kick off our show. We're going to jump right into our show, but let's see what our chat's up to. Patty says, what up? Hope all is well. John, what's up? Last guys, I fell out of love with Immortal X-Men, the last
Mohicans.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. Hey guys, I got Void Rivals from y'all. Thanks so much. The Hulk variant was dope. No problem, Joe. We wanted to take care of you, man. And if your comic doesn't, if your comic shop or your LCS is still not picking it up, head on over to brainycomics.com. I think they have like a contact maybe. If not, go to Collected Comics and Games and send them a message, and they will hook you up. We will get you situated where we'll start mailing you out. They'll mail you out that, obviously you'll buy it, but
particular book. Yeah,
Ron will mail it out to you so that he'll make sure that you get your Void Rivals book. So let us know if Void Rivals is still not at your LCS, and Ron will take care of you over at Collected Comics and Games or Any Comics.
Patty, too, let us know if your family member here in the States got your slab, because we sent that out.
I feel like he said it
last Wednesday.
I feel like he said it on the last live show that he did.
I was only here for parts, so
that's right. I think he said it did.
Okay.
I think he did. Good. Yeah. So, but you know what? You're right. Thanks for double checking. Joe, even the package was really well done. Yeah, buddy. Of course it was.
Did you package it or?
I put it in a Two Fat Guys Pull List mailer, which you would get if you did the upgrade.
Oh,
so he got a little
from the shop. You got help from the shop.
Of course I got help from the shop. Anyway, there was a little bit of that. That's basically Two Fat Guys Pull List swag, unofficial swag, and then you got to collect. I think there should have been a collected in comics sticker in there as well. But yeah, we're glad you liked I tried to get you a different Hulk variant, but they only had the Scotty Young, but I figured you'd like that too. So but yeah, that's going to do it. What's up, chat? All right, let's just dive into the show. We're going to kick it off with Amazing Spider-Man issue number 29 from Zeb Wells and Ed McGuinness. I've been really digging this little offshoot run, even though it really has it doesn't feel like it has any connectivity to what Zeb Wells was doing in his current run with Tombstone and the Dark Web and even Black Cat. Like, it's just kind of this own little mini story that's off on its own, even though we're connecting threads to other storylines that have happened.
Sorry.
No,
I was just gonna say I caught back up. I haven't read this whole Octavius thing. You know what this is tying into, right? This is tying, or what I think it is this is tying into Superior Spider-Man, the run that you and I have neither of us have read, that just came out in omnibus last week. It's where Octavius is Spider-Man. Remember when he goes for a while? Yeah. And so I think in the way that he gets his memories erased and all that, I think that's what the conclusion that we're coming to is Peter and Otto are going to find out what happened. They're going to get their memories back of those things. Well, I think that's the conclusion of what's happening.
I've enjoyed it. I've liked this little run. It feels like, I think I've said it ever since it started, that this feels like a genuine Spider-Man run, and I know that's unfair, right? That's unfair to what Zeb Wells started at the beginning of his run, because a lot of people like that run, yourself included. But this, to me, feels like what Spider-Man comics oh, this sounds so bad. I sound like a comic skater. Like, should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels, it feels good. It feels.
Oh,
What?
being a comic skater is just
Shut up. I'm just saying it feels, it just feels classic. It just feels like a good old time. Whereas some of the other stuff, whether it's Dark Web or whatever, I haven't enjoyed it as much. Though I did watch Robbie on his review, and he just flat out, he just came out. He's like, I'm pretty generous and pretty nice about my reviews, but I had to. He finally like dropped the hammer on. Well, okay, but I'm just saying he finally dropped the hammer on Amazing Spider-Man, and he's like, this run is fucking stupid. Like, he got really upset, and it just made me laugh. Like, it made me laugh really hard because, like, he seems like, I will say, when it comes to Spider-Man, he has a pretty what's the word? He just has a high tolerance, and like, he didn't start complaining about the Spider-Man run previous by Nick Spencer until it was like on issue 65.5. You know, I don't know if that's the right number, but that's when he started losing his shit on it. So, you know, I thought it was funny, but I don't know. I had fun with it. And I just think when Ramita comes back on, I just think I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna read it. I think I'll be done. But I like the storyline.
Back on for a while, September at least.
Well, then I'll be on for a little bit. But I liked Parker putting on, or, you know, giving his own feel and style to the old Doc Ock legs. I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, I genuinely liked the issue. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun too. I especially enjoyed the this is, you know, the classic homage that we do all the time. Like, this is still so fun.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see that or not, but
yeah. Man, you're super like.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's you or if it's me. Let me
I can check if it's me real quick.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
I'm not maxing any. I'm at 32% my CPU and 50 in memory.
Let me call you back.
Okay,
Let's try.
call me back, bro.
Just call you back, bro. I'm gonna call you back. Sorry, guys. I apologize. We're gonna try this again. All right, let's see. Okay, that looks a little better. Let's see. Move around. Move your head. Yeah, that's better. You were like digitized, so I can't hear you now. Though.
You don't have me on.
No, I got you. All right, wait, hold on. Now I'll give you. Bear with us, chat.
We're professionals.
We are professionals. Okay, then.
Wait, we're not professionals. We don't get paid yet.
Not yet. There you go. Okay, I think we're better. You look better. All right, so I don't know. I liked it.
That's not what this is about.
What?
You said I look fine. No, I look great.
Okay, let's not get into the specifics, can we? Like, stop. You know, I know you like to look at yourself in the monitor there, but also it sounds like they pre-spoiled the Hellfire Gala in this issue. Did they? Another good Spider-Man comic. Wish this run was more consistent. I agree, Joe. You think we get a better Green Goblin again during this run?
I hope not.
And a waste of paper. Who knows?
Back to the other.
Oh.
The extra
what's okay. Last, just hold that thought. We'll get there. Okay, we got something special planned. John, the other Dan Slott ongoing Spider-Man book seems like more Spidey book lately. The Spider-Boy stuff is actually interesting. Maybe switch to that. Maybe. Nate, I didn't know you read digital comics. Floppies for life.
Very rarely. All the rest of my books are my floppies.
Man, you just got called out, son. Just got called out.
Very rarely, but listen, you know, like, especially whenever I get my Momokos coming in.
You know, that fish fly Momoko is sick.
Yup.
All right, let's move on to our next book. We've got The Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel, and last, you perfectly. Also, what's y'all's opinion on Miss Marvel ditching the Inhumans title and going mutant? My opinion, when cinema starts changing the comics, we get into tricky territory. Well, we were going to start the review, and then when someone asked that, we were going to go into a breaking comic book news segment. But since you've already asked it, breaking comic book news. Hold on. Professional here. WAP.
We are professional.
There it is. And then we're going to switch to the news.
Oh, it's a big face, man.
That's a big old face. Anyway, we got breaking comic book news. Miss Marvel returns as a mutant in the series co-written by the Marvel's star. So we've got an ad going on here, which I don't really like that either. But anyway, yeah. So it has been announced that Miss Marvel in the comics is now going to be considered a mutant, just like she is in her show. And we're getting a new X-Men comic, if you will. And I don't know. Like, obviously, it's being co-written by I can't say her name. I don't want to butcher it.
I don't have the article in front of me.
Oh well, I think it's Eamon. I'm not gonna butcher it. Anyway, get out of here. My goodness. Anyway, but yeah, they're retconning Miss Marvel into being a mutant, and it's going to be co-written by the Miss Marvel, who the Miss Marvel is in the show on Disney Plus, and then we'll have some other writers that are also connected. I'm on CBR if on for it, but yeah, apparently the internet is on fire about this whole thing. They are losing their shit about this comic, whether it's good or bad. Vaughn, this dual screen vertical is legit. I support. Well, this is usually our breaking comic book news format. Anyway, we've talked about this before, where when will it happen where whatever happens in the movies or whatever happens in the Disney Plus shows, when does that start affecting comics? When do they start retconning that stuff into the comics? And I guess it only took, when we started thinking about it, about 3 or 4 years after Disney Plus got launched, right? Mm-hmm. Me personally, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. You don't have a problem with what's happening here? Like with
what's happening with this specific situation with Miss Marvel, because is it sloppy? Yes, right? Because initially they made her an Inhuman because Marvel didn't have the actual movie and TV rights to the mutants, so they didn't want to do that, even though I think it was stated a while back that in the Miss Marvel show, the writer was like, we had always intended her to be a mutant, but things got switched up because of the movie rights. Yeah. And so is it sloppy that she's an Inhuman and now she's a mutant? Yes.
Sloppy.
Very sloppy. But I feel like for continuity's sake, and for someone, not necessarily for a seasoned reader, but for someone who is just getting into this content, right? And I watched the show, she's a mutant, where can I go read comics about Miss Marvel, right? And if they go to the shop and we're just getting out of the Marvels movie and they want to go to the comic book shop and there's a Miss Marvel, New Mutant #1, that continuity for that reader is synced, right? Now, for me and you, not so much, right? And I understand the frustration with that, but to me, for the bigger picture, I think I'm okay with it.
Oh man, I just have so many opinions. So
crucify me. Go ahead.
No, I it's not that at all. I think that there are two big things here. Does this make sense linearly for comic books? I would say yes.
Okay.
Does this set a terrible and terrifying precedent? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I would rather this book not exist and this thing not happen, because I think the precedent that it sets is worse than the value we might get from it.
Okay.
I think having the MCU and what we're doing in the MCU control and have such a huge impact in comic books is really scary and really bad. I think that will cause a ton more retconning that is nonsensical.
Okay.
However, I don't think that this is nonsensical. I actually think this is perfect. If you were to do this, this is the one that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could fit the overall Marvel comic book universe quite well. However, the thing that scares me the most, and I'm sure the writer of this book gave it her all, and it could be a really good book. But to me, we're really going to be changing the way that Krakoa works, because I'm sure this is going to be some kind of resurrection protocol, some sort of like, are we just going to bring back all superheroes? No, we are. No, we're not. I think the vibe's totally going to change in Krakoa because of this.
Yeah.
And the fact that we don't have a mainstay Krakoa artist writing this book, or a writer writing this book, is, to me, is very bad. It's very bad.
Well,
and not only that, you have someone who has no comic book experience at all. Like, she has no, like, I'm sure she's done her research. I'm sure.
Well, she is like, when you see her at the premieres, she is goo goo gaga for Marvel Comics. I think she is a comic book nerd. Like, she is and
that's why I'm saying is I have hope, and I will be of this book because of that. If this was just someone that was just sort of out of nowhere, but that didn't seem to have any sort of presence or care, then I probably I really worry about the precedent that this sets. Like, there are so many different things that we could change that are legitimately bad, that could have ramifications that would make the vast majority of comic book people upset, and the MCU none the wiser because they don't know.
No, I agree, but I also think we need to. I think as a fandom, you know, we kind of got this sense the other day with when you said that that Harold is no longer covering X-Men comics.
Right.
I think we are getting set up for the actual fall of Krakoa. I think the current state of X-Men comics is going to change drastically even when this book comes out. I think we have maybe at most a year left in the Krakoa era. I think we're getting really close to game-changing reset in the X-Men comic books, but we've got to get a couple other things in here, a couple other characters and situations set before we do that. And I think this is one of those things. But I also could see the situation where the show ends, it's the Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, or Miss Marvel ends on Disney Plus. The big bombshell that she's a mutant drops, and I guarantee you the comic book division of Marvel was like, this is a good idea. Why don't we just, why not? Like, we're here. It's happened in the show. Like, I know that however it was conspired or thought of, there's probably a mix of everything. But I'm telling you right now, it wasn't this, like, I don't think it was this huge planned thought thing. Like, you know, like, this is the direction we're taking Miss Marvel. I think there was just this, like, aha moment where we have a situation here where we can actually integrate continuity in the MCU with our comics. And I don't think they've thought much about what the ramifications of that is. Like you're saying, like, how scary and how shitty that could be for other situations that it may not necessarily align with perfectly.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to see what happens there. You know, like, is it because it's a good idea, or is it because we're trying to cut budgets and we're trying to cut books, so we need to, you know, reformulate things? Who knows? I think it's a mixture of both.
Whatever it is, Disney, because let's not get this twisted. This is a Disney decision.
Right.
Disney feels like Miss Marvel is a marketable character, because we are having a lot of things change for Miss Marvel. Not only did she get her own TV show, but there's a million other characters that could have gotten their own TV show. But she got a TV show. We're doing this book change. But I don't know if you saw this. They just got announced that Miss Marvel is going to get syndicated on ABC. They're putting it normal cable TV.
Yeah, I just saw that. But is
And
it just
going to be?
the first season, or like are we going to get another season on TV too?
Well, they have not announced the second season yet. No,
Right.
they're not going to with the writer's strike on.
Right.
But the first season is going to be the first of every single Disney exclusive show that's actually going to get shown on normal TV. Like this is getting shown on a channel that you can get with rabbit ears on your TV. Like this is not cable. This is basic TV.
Who still has rabbit ears, dude?
I'm just saying that there's this everyone in the planet that has a TV will have access to this.
This is the age of streaming, bro. Everybody has.
I know you. We're gonna have to check your privilege a little bit, okay?
Shut up.
Because you need to chill out. Not everyone's got.
What? Not everybody has 14 Apple TVs in every room that they own.
Exactly. So I think that just shows that there's being like Disney thinks Miss Marvel is a marketable character. Oh, and I obviously forgot the big thing with that she's going to be co-starring in it. So like,
yeah,
there's a lot of chips going into Miss Marvel.
I think it's good though.
I mean, I think it's good because I think someone has in chat has said this multiple times, but has said that Miss Marvel has had a tough time keeping a book on the shelves. I actually think that's Marvel's fault and not the character's fault because she hasn't had an ongoing in 5 years. No, people aren't picking up minis consistently enough to. You don't give someone a mini and then prove that you should deserve an ongoing. That's not how we do it anymore.
Yeah, right.
It's just, oh, you had a mini and then, oh shit, we haven't done anything with this character here later. I think though, you put the deterrence away and you just kind of look at the overall numbers. I think people prefer the characterization of Miss Marvel that we got, like her individual characterization that we got in the TV show, maybe a little bit more than what we've had lately in the comic books. And they're trying to shift the comic books more towards that personality.
Right.
Maybe it'll work.
I have high hopes for it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to also make a lot of people go back and read some of the Champion stuff when, like, I think Cyclops was involved or whenever they had a team together, because like there was even, and we'll get into that when we get into a review with Fallen Friend, where we've got some history with Miss Marvel and Cyclops, and I don't know a lot about it, and I did some reading on it before the show, but I just think there's a lot that checks all the boxes when it comes to like why we got into the hobby, which is there's material that says, hey, do you want to know more? And it's actually intriguing, because some other comic book publishers who remained, who we will not name, DC, throw in these little like, hey, do you want to know more? But it's more just a little clip of something of why Superman has a blue S on his chest and not a red S, like whatever. But I think Marvel is doing a really good job of saying, hey, we've got this new book coming out. There's some character dynamic here that you may not understand. So here's a reading order, or here's a list of comics that you can read to understand what's going on here. So I'm very hopeful for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But I totally understand what you're saying with this hesitancy and this trepidation towards the MCU dictating what's being published in comics. I totally get that. And yeah, that's a very fine line to walk, and we'll have to wait and see just how it goes. So,
I think we both were at the same conclusion, though, right? Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic, but also excited, because I think we're both very tired when it comes to X-Men books, and we're ready for a change. So, anyway,
this isn't the right place for that rant.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this breaking comic book news segment. Thanks for everybody who is watching this live, and thanks to everybody who's watching this as a past segment. This will be going up as a past segment on our YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like, and we'll catch you in the next breaking comic book news segment. Later. All right, guys, that's we're gonna go back to the main show. We're kind of doing some dual business here, where we're gonna chop up the segment. It's we're multitasking. It's pretty cool. But let's get back to the regular scheduled programming, our regular show. Professional. All right, let's get back to chat here, because everybody has been talking about it while we were talking, and we kind of ignored chat here for a little bit. So let's see here. Where do we start here? Man, there's a lot. Wow, we missed a lot. Okay.
So, well, I mean, there is a lot. I would say let's get to your X-Men comics in like 2 or 3 books when we get to Immortal, because I think there's a lot that you're saying that I agree with, and I think you're ready for your come to Jesus moment. I know the Jim's come to Jesus.
Wait, what'd you say? Your mic kind of broke in. What'd you say?
I said you're not ready to be there, but I think Last is ready.
Well, you may be surprised. Anyway, I really like this. I felt sad during seeing the throwback stories of her champions. Was great. The heroes slowly showing up. Oh, you talking about the actual episode? This book? Yes, it was great.
Right.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with this issue. I don't know what I was expecting, but I genuinely liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. It didn't. I guess for me, it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like a gimmick. Does that make sense? I just didn't. I think there may have been some moments where it kind of got there, but overall, the whole entire issue didn't feel gimmicky. If there's any gimmick, it's what happened to her in the Spider-Man book. You know, like this could have been in the Spider-Man issue, right? This could have been. It didn't have to be its own separate thing. I think it could have happened in Spider-Man.
Didn't it though? Like, I mean, we all know why it was.
All right, but anyway, let's see. Also, I hate to be that guy. Marvel just is like a lot of other new characters were made half and without purpose. Riri, Kamala, the only one that is staying organically is Miles. It makes sense for them to throw the kitchen sink at the character development. She can't keep a book on the shelves, but her character has gained popularity on the show, so why not match that on the TV? Also, I'm interested.
Hold on, I gotta do this for both Last and Joe. What character that hasn't had an ongoing in 5+ years is still relevant right now? That is relevant to modern readers. Like you can say, well, I don't know, Adam Warlock. Well, yeah, he hasn't had an ongoing book since like the 70s, but like, and he's only relevant because they just put him into a movie. But like, what modern character that we talk about that is known who hasn't had a run in 5+ years, consistent, ongoing? No one. Like, Miles has been given a million more chances than Miss Marvel or Kamala ever even got touched with, even by an instant. Also, he was created 15 years before them. Anyway.
Here, well, let's see here. There's one here that I was reading the. Joe says comic book helps quit reading X books. Wow, that's big news. It is big news.
It's huge news.
He's done. And yeah, I think he flat out said because they're bad. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. He puts a lot of time and effort into his reviews and his explanations. And when it feels like, and I know we should be talking about Miss Marvel, but
we should. Why don't talk about this?
Okay, fine. We'll get to that. There's the tease. We'll get
specifically why I said let's save this for the
all right. Well, I'm just reading it organically. Jim's optimism is commendable, but I have to say this: before Hickman, these people ran X-Men comic line, and it wasn't good. Just like the X-Men Red glued. Well, Hickman brought it back to its.
You literally did. I literally just said save the X-Men. You read it.
Okay.
Save the X-Men.
Miss Marvel is about to be on ABC, the first Disney Plus show to cross platforms. I gotta play bunny ears on my TV. All right, I'll skip last. Okay, we'll get back to last. Clouds in comparison to this was Andor released on Hulu. Oh, did it? I didn't know that.
Okay. Joe, yes, you. I will shut up on that one. You got me 100% with Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Because he has not had an ongoing in forever. But Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange has been getting canceled, but he's been around. He has not had his world has been highlighted a lot. And Fantastic Four just ended a 45-issue run. And it started over instantly. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about that. Beta Ray Bill? 90% of Marvel comic readers don't have any fucking idea. He is one of them. I mean, listen, he's my goddamn favorite character. But
You just got an action figure of him, like.
I did. He's right up there going, whoa. No one knows who Jane Foster is as Valkyrie or as Thor outside of like hardcore fans, but she needs an ongoing.
Black Widow.
Look
what you started. Look what you. Joe is just going off on you right now.
But see, all of these characters are carried by the MCU, right?
No, She-Hulk.
Well, that's just offensive to you now.
I know. All right, let's talk about Fallen Friend. So, genuinely like the issue. It didn't. Again, overall, it didn't feel as gimmicky as I feared it to be when it got announced and was released. So I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked seeing everybody show up. I actually really liked Logan when he showed up. I really enjoyed his part, how he partook in the ceremony. I thought that was really cool. And even though I don't have much history with them, the champions showing up and doing their thing and having their drama, I liked that too. I really liked Viv. I liked that whole situation. I thought that was really cool. So
sure, but that was literally an aside that was about Viv. That literally was like 8 pages that had nothing to do with Kamala.
I understand that. I get that, but I still liked it. Like I know it. I know people are upset because they feel like it shouldn't have belong. It didn't belong in there, and they're probably right. But I genuinely liked it. I thought it was cool. But that's just me.
I thought it was all right. I thought it
wasn't.
I don't think anything in here said anything unique or exceptional or really made it that reverent. And the one part of this book that I thought was probably necessary was the one part that's like a 1-page web exclusive, and they didn't even talk about it, and you just had to fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So for those that didn't know, there's a like 1 or 2 page Cyclops.
It's a 1 page. It's 1 page.
It's just a 1-page addendum to this issue where Cyclops is outside the funeral, and they're like, "Why didn't you were friends with her too? Why didn't you go in there?" And he's like, "You'll find out later. It's because I'm a piece of shit who fucking hates his wife and his whole family, and I'm a terrible leader, and I'm the worst X-Men character of all time. You'll find out later." Like, Cyclops not being at I love it. I love it. Cyclops not being there is the perfect example of the piece of shit that he is.
Well, is it because he's hiding the fact that she's a mutant and she's been resurrected?
I couldn't care less what the reason is.
I'm just saying, like, that's probably why.
And that's why. And I don't need who isn't here to yell at me about that. Calvin just all of a sudden show up out of nowhere and be like, "No, he's not," but
he's the best. I'm not gonna argue with you, but
right,
I mean,
let's go on.
Okay. All right, let's talk about Immortal X-Men issue number 13 with Dougie Doug. All right, you go ahead. Do it.
Well, no, I mean the issue for I think
words.
I'm trying. I am really trying. You want to talk about words? There were way too many words in this issue.
I agree.
There were way too many words. We're trying to do way too much here. I read this issue fully, completely, 100%. I read 2 different things. I read 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, that Comic Book Herald said, "I'm done covering X-Books." He goes, "I will personally read Kieran's run and Al Ewing's run, and I might talk about them sometimes when I feel like it. But I am done keeping up with continuity. I am done keeping up with all the other books. Right. Every other book, unless it is a creator I like." He specifically highlighted the creator that's going to be writing the Children of the Vault, that he might read that.
Yeah.
That mixed with someone on Twitter who I can't remember who it is right now, whose opinions I value because I often need them to help me understand what's going on in this conundrum of X books. They both were like, "We're done separately," and I thought, you know what? I think I might be done too. And it wasn't this book's fault, but it just was like the world. It was just like somehow the straw broke this week. So I find it really hard to give this book a proper evaluation, even though it felt like this book was the last issue of whatever this run is that we're in right now. Are we still in Destiny or something?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Whatever it is, it feels like this was supposed to be like the final issue before we push into Fall of X, and I felt flat and unexcited.
I think
ultimately, what's the point of this book? Now, there are some good points made in this book because Kieran Gillen is a smart guy, and he does good things, like the Exodus going and saying, like, listen, the only reason why we have a government here is because people like me choose to allow you to let this happen, and we all need to recognize that that's how it is, right? And I think that's a really good for X readers, that this idea of Krakoa as a unified nation, quality, the desire for utopia can never really be there because of the powerful few, because of the Omegas. If without them agreeing to this whole situation, you don't have a Krakoa, a successful Krakoa. You just have fascists leading the island. But other than that fun little point, what else really happened in this issue besides Krakoa hiding Doug, which I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, that's to me is the biggest like, if there's a draw anywhere, it's that Krakoa clearly understands that something shitty is about to happen, and he is saving and sheltering the only asset that matters, which is Doug, which, to be honest, has been one of the biggest driving themes in this entire new version of the X-Men, right? Like, Krakoa was not going to be involved, nor was it going to coexist in Xavier's idea of utopia without Doug, right? Doug was the key. He was the linchpin outside of Moira. He was the linchpin to make sure that the island worked, right? Because he's the only one that can communicate with Krakoa. So when that happened, it was like, oh shit, like, this is serious. Like, this is my only positive to this whole thing, because everything else was just like, whatever. And I agree, like, the current state of X-Men comics is so fucking messy. And it's because again, my opinion, I truly believe when the X-Office told Hickman, hey, we want to play. We want to stay in this world right here where it's at currently. We want to play for a lot longer. And he was like, fine, I'm going to let y'all cook. I'm out. I'm going to tell I'm going to get you to this point, and then you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. And I am envious of everyone who has read his Avengers run and his Fantastic Four run, where his thought was completed, right? It was completed. He was able to do exactly what he wanted to do, build that world, and move on.
Oh,
hey, there's Kelvin.
Don't
His ears must have been burning. What up, Jaden? So, like, I agree with you that there is a sense for me that I'm just like, dude, I think I'm done. Am I still going to go pick up those other books? Probably. It's just, I can't, for me personally, and I'm not saying, Nate, that I want you to join me. Excuse me. I'm just saying, I'm like the Jean Grey book. I'm like, oh, I want to check that out. Like, Iceman, I don't know, maybe not. I know that dude. I'm not saying you.
If there's anybody getting a separate little mini right now, it makes me nauseated.
What if it was Cyclops?
It doesn't. Of course, I'm not going to read that.
Well, that's why I'm saying at least give Jean a shot. But anyway, that's not the. Listen, that's not the point.
I genuinely don't think there's a mutant out there. Solo of
Deadpool. You're doing it right now.
He's not a mutant though.
But you're reading it anyway.
He's not a mutant, so he's not allowed on.
Listen, just hear me out. I totally understand why people are frustrated, and I'm 100% there. There's just a part of me that wants to still read it, and if I get to the point of like a Cy Spurrier moment where I'm like, fuck this shit, then I will. But I am not at all trying to devalue everyone's frustration at the fact that the X-Men comics are in a world of hurt, and it is incredibly obvious when you have someone like Comic Book Harold who's like, nah fam, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, because I genuinely believe that he was trying to stretch as thin as he could to make reading X-Men comic books a thing for his channel, and for him to make, and it was obvious, like, we were getting less and less videos from him, even lives, explaining what happened in the X-Men books that week. And it's clear because it doesn't fucking make sense anymore, because we're so far driven from the original idea of Krakoa. And I don't believe it's Karen Gillan or Al Ewing's fault. I really don't. I think they are doing what they're doing the best that they can with what they have. And what they have is a dysfunctional X office who can't coexist and have the same idea going on throughout the entire books. Case in point, X-Force. Alone, a really fun book. Continuity-wise with Krakoa does not make a lick of sense. It doesn't make any sense. Because it just doesn't. The continuity for what's going on. So, yeah, I think I almost hope, and this pains me to say this because I'm still living in the heyday of Hickman, Krakoa's got to go. The whole idea has got to go. And I think once we establish Miss Marvel as a mutant, and we establish some other characters as back, or a new precedent for mutants, Krakoa is going to go. And whatever is currently the state of it will just burn. Will the X-Men? I know you do. Will Mars still exist as a Arakan/mutant haven? I think so. Will Mysterium be the downfall for the mutants? I think so. I think it's yes. Because they created that metal. They're the ones. They're not created. They're the ones that brought that into existence.
Why would that be a problem? What's wrong with Mysterium? What problem does it create?
Calvin, thumbs down. I respect that thumbs down, Calvin. I totally respect it.
Sorry, I got a little carried away.
I think Mysterium is going to play a huge factor into the fall of Krakoa and the X-Men.
I've heard you say it. I'm asking you how. Like, why?
I don't.
You even, that's the reason why saying, I think Destiny's toenails are going to have a huge part in the fall of Krakoa. Like, what?
The reason why is because it's listen. It's being thrown around in all of the X books right now. They're throwing it around willy nilly.
I mean, it's even not the X books. It was in Scarlet Witch this week.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's showing up in spots where the X-Men, who should be the mutants, should be the sole. They should be the ones just harboring this thing and they're giving it away willy nilly. Like, I think
no, it's a currency.
I know, but I just don't feel like they're taking good care of it. I think it's going to be part of their downfall. So, I'm finding Red Goblin to be a better book than any of the X books right now. What? John says. Joe, which one would you rather want? Hickman finish his vision of the X books, or Cates finishing his vision for Thor versus Thanos? God damn it, Joe.
Oh, that's easy. I would rather Hickman finish his vision. You know why? Because it's going to still be bad and grow. Oh, you know what I was going to say? I forgot that I was going to light the whole chat on fire.
Light it on fire. That. Do it.
I just finished volume 3. Yes. Volume 3 out of 5 of Hickman's Avengers run. And I'm going to go ahead and say now, sloppy. Sloppy. I don't get it, you guys. I read the first omnibus of his Fantastic Four, and it was great. This Avengers run is sloppy at best, and that's me being polite. So I always was kind of riding on the Hickman thing because of.
Is our subscriber count okay? Because I feel like we're just pissing off everybody.
It's just going everywhere. I'm gonna keep reading before I make a final judgment. But I need you guys to tell me it gets better in 5 leading up to the Secret Wars, which I know is great. I've always been a Hickman believer because of Secret Wars. Okay, John. See,
there you go. John validates.
I'm not saying it's awful. I'm not saying that I haven't been glad I'm reading it, but it is. I mean, it is sloppy Joe. Sloppy. Like, just like,
bro, what the fuck?
Even for Texans that have taco casa, you ever had the chili burger and you just
No,
like
I don't
you
eat that
pick
trash.
it up and like the bread's already soaked through, and you're just like, I can't even hold it together. That is what, especially the Infinity um, event.
Last
We
one's
were
your head on
doing-
a pike, dude. Like
I just finished Infinity event. I just finished that. I'm gonna keep going. I have 4 and 5 on the shelf, so like I'm going to read it. But
this
yeah,
might
it
have been
was-
this might be like
it
our
was
best show ever.
sloppy.
Schlubber. Dude, who eats at Taco Casa, bro? Like seriously, why are you eating that trash? Like that's
Taco
like
Casa is literally is better quality than half of the fast food.
I don't eat fast food anymore, so I can't.
Well,
but I'm just saying, Taco Casa's trash. Bro. A
not
taco
all of us are
burger?
rich, man. Not all of us
Shut the
eat
fuck up. I am not
Chili's every
rich.
day. All right, sometimes I gotta go to Taco Casa.
Did you say Chili's?
I did.
Hey, welcome to Chili's. Anyway, to each their own. All right, let's move on.
Please.
Moon Knight, enormous 25th issue.
I'm so happy that we can talk about a book I'm enthusiastic about.
Oh, you liked it?
Fuck yeah! Actually, you know what? Put pick of the week on there. Don't owe you
Oh,
like
no.
it to me.
What's going on here?
Oh,
What
God.
professional show?
That's
There you
So
go.
mad that you're ending the show. This book was fan-fucking-tastic.
I agree, but I didn't like the bits where they're trying to explain his relationship with the Scarab chick. I didn't care for that. I just didn't. Like I skipped it and then I came
Please,
back to it.
please, Widos, don't make me use my brain. Just do fight scenes, please. Fight scenes and shadows is all I want,
No,
please.
I just didn't. I didn't enjoy it. That's all. But I thought it was overall I liked the issue, but I just was
I
not.
love this issue. I would say this is in the top 3 of the run so far.
Wow.
Which is not really fair because it's such a long issue.
It's really long.
This right here, when you're gonna do a anniversary triple the size $10 bullshit book, this is what I want.
Yeah, I agree.
I want the main writer and the main artist to do a story by themselves.
Okay.
And nothing else is going
Yeah,
on.
you're 100% correct.
The tiny little bit of, like, I even thought, because I saw that they included Bill Sienkiewicz and whatever, I thought that was going to take up half the book. And it didn't.
No.
It took up like 4 pages in the back.
Yeah.
Now, was it useless?
Yes.
Oh, I think so. I even read it. Can you believe it? Like, it was like a lot of words. It was a lot of words, but I still read it.
Excuse me, sorry.
No, I thought this issue was amazing. Like, it felt like a miniature movie. Like, I felt like I got like a nice, cohesive, almost graphic novel length story. I feel like I got a beginning, a middle, and end, like an actual conclusion, but I'm still driving the plot over an overall story.
Yeah.
Allowing Capuccio like this many pages to really show off his stuff. I think
Oh my god, his artwork is fantastic. Yeah.
And I think it was cool. I think there's a part of Mark of Moon Knight, Mark Spector, particularly that particular character that has been played up in the past a little bit in other Moon Knight books as like a secret agent kind of guy that we haven't seen a lot of.
Agent. Yep.
And we got to see it here, and I was happy to see that. And I think this is really cool. Like, we're building up to what looks like to be a big showdown between him and what is it, Black Spectre?
Black Spectre, yeah. Which I really like that. I liked it, but I don't know. And again, I'm sorry. I know I'm frustrating some people and it upsets you, but maybe I'm just too simple-minded, and I'm sure I am. But there are certain instances when cutting to, and I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It totally makes sense to have the artwork change when you're telling a different story. But it just, to me, it felt too disruptive. For me personally, stop shaking your head, Nate. I'm not talking about you.
Shake my head.
Stop it. I just felt like it disrupted the flow for me personally. Okay, just me personally. Did it ruin the book completely for me? No, but it just felt, I don't know, just like, I think for me that part of the story would have been more effective for me if the formatting had been different, where that had been that had been the backup or the second story in the book. To me, that's all I'm saying.
But it wouldn't have flowed with the overall.
I know.
plot
I
of the
understand.
story. Like
I
it's
get
just
it.
it's
I
like
know.
saying take a flashback out of Mission Impossible or something. It's just like that's
Yeah, but then it would have been like cool and weird. Like, wait, but what? And then like, oh, here it is. Luke, I am your father. You know, it's like, come on.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to agree with you.
I'm not asking you to.
Anyway, this book is great, and I think everyone that's reading it is right. It doesn't seem like
I'm the only one. I'm on
is...
an island.
Okay, hold on. Where? So, bro, the Infinity event was the knock on the door. Oh, if I'm reading his F4, I need to get the second on this. If the Infinity event is, but see, it's just not because it was bad and it was sloppy. And I've read Secret War. It's supposed to be his magnum opus, right? And that's good. It's great. It's not sloppy. It's very concise. But trying to do the Infinity event where Thanos is invading at the exact same time that we're doing the incursion stuff, trying to smash all that together, I thought it was very sloppy. Did he wrap it up fairly well? I think so. I think sort of mashing those two things together made a little bit more sense. Having the incursion forces come were really cool. Seeing Clert and Gladiator and Ronan, even for a split second, come fight for Earth, I thought that was very cool. I'm not saying it wasn't enjoyable. I'm just saying it was messy. I'm sure we've all enjoyed a sloppy Joe before. It's still messy, still enjoyable. It can be both.
What are you
That's all.
talking
That's
about?
what I'm saying.
FWC.
Are you clearly? Have you never had a sloppy Joe sandwich? Like,
FWC, you welcome to the party, and you have missed a lot because we have broken some rules tonight for sure.
We've not broken any rules.
I mean,
I can't break rules on my show.
When you started getting on top of your bed and just started dancing with your butt hanging out, that's a big, see, FWC, you missed a lot. All right.
John said that he's with me.
I am not
on this book.
God.
We've moved on. He said this would have been his peak. This would have been his pick. What is your pick, John?
Well, we'll get there.
Well, how do you know? He hasn't said it.
I'm sure he'll say it once we get there. Just be patient.
Joe, you're gonna love it. It's great. Disciple. Hey, I wanted to ask you something, but I forgot, so I'll remember.
Scarlet Witch issue number 6. This was fun. I liked it. Cute. It was cute. It's cute. There's not a lot to say to it outside of like, again, I feel like, ooh, yeah. Again, if you're not reading Scarlet Witch, I think you're missing out. I think it's a really silly goose time, and there's some movement in it. There's definitely some stuff going on in this book that I think will have ramifications in other MCU books. I don't know which ones, but probably even the X-Men. But overall, I enjoyed the issue. I thought it was a lot of fun. I not once was I like, why am I still reading this? Like it was. I said it in New Comic Book Day, and I'll say it again here. This book is not getting enough attention, and so if you're looking, if your pool's a little sparse or you're looking to add another book, go check out Scarlet Witch. I think there's one issue in the 6 that have currently been released that was just kind of like a total miss, and it was okay. Like I really don't think you needed to. You could probably skip the issue and you'd be fine. And it's when her and Polaris go on this like little mission, and it's just like, it's so weird. But other than that, this book's super fun. So I can't really. I thought the dynamic between Wiccan and his husband, I think, was really cool, and even the mom, with Scarlet, having her dialogue, I thought was great. Now before we move on, was I mistaken with Magneto? When Magneto was initially introduced in a previous issue, I was under the assumption that it was a contest of chaos or champions of chaos story thread that was going to run through the annuals.
Was it the other Scarlet Witch book that he showed up in?
Yeah, he shows.
I was like, what other book did he show up in?
It was either issue 4 or 5. It was 3 or 4, where he shows back up, like he's like crunching a ball of metal, and you're like, oh shit. And then I was like, oh, that's Agatha. That's Agatha fucking with.
Right.
But I don't know if that's the case anymore.
I don't know either, but I don't think we're going to know. I think it would be very cool and very. They allowed him to come back in a different book other than one of the main X books.
Does he come back? But does he come back, and does he? Is he going to be a villain?
I don't know. I mean, was he ever really a good guy?
I mean, he felt kind of good in Krakoa, in the Krakoa thing.
Sure, because he was only with mutants. He's always been a good guy to mutants,
right?
For the most part. But like,
why you gotta make me feel dumb, huh?
No, I'm not making you feel dumb.
No, you make me feel dumb. I feel stupid.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, now I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm actually genuinely intrigued with this whole Magneto thing in Scarlet Witch, right? Because I genuinely thought, and it still may be the case, but when he was first kind of teased in one of the previous issues, I was like, oh, this is a annual Contest of Chaos. This is an Agatha thing.
Right. And
now I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. Like, why is he back?
I think it's maybe not. I think it would be really cool if he gets to come back or do something.
I agree.
In this book.
Yeah, well, I'll
give this book a little boost that it deserves.
Mm-hmm. All right, Joe, we'll get to your halftime question here in a second. Let me just get to this. Ghost Calendars Part 3, Silly Goose Time, super fun. If we're not talking Krakoa, this is really cool. If we're trying to fit this into what's going on with Krakoa, it is incredibly forced. This whole Colossus is a traitor at the very end of the book. Like, it just feels so out of whack and forced into what Percy was trying to do with this fun story. Where before we jump back to the present and we defeat this version of Beast who has fused himself with Nimrod, there's this bit of dialogue, a data page, where Domino is talking to Colossus and is like, something's different about you. Ever since we started this mission, you're like, I can actually talk to you now. And Colossus is like, when we get back to the present, go back to my farm, but make sure I'm not there because I want to. And then it cuts and they're back in the present. And then the Russian writer guy takes back over his mind and he's like, oh, I've got him back. And she's like, what happened? I don't know. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Like, it just feels so forced, you know? Like, this storyline has been running for so long and it has been neglected, and suddenly we're back to the point where it's digging into fun stuff that X-Men comic book writers are trying to do. And so again, I go back to, I feel like Krakoa is genuinely going to fall because there's just too much to keep up with. And they want their cake and they want to eat it too. Yeah. And there's just too much continuity. And some of it is good and some of it is bad. But I actually liked this issue a lot. It was a lot of fun. It was gross. There's some really gross shit that happened. Like, Kid Omega literally vomits the version of Cerebro that turned into like an AI robot that was trying to consume everything. Yeah. It was really fucking cool. And it was gross. He's like, and like it was gross. And then it literally eats Beast, the the Nimrod version of Beast, like it consumes him. It's pretty dope.
Oh shit.
So it was dope, but again, it was weird. Let's see. I don't think so, Joe. Oh wait, hold on. Let's go back here. Well, that's talking about the question, so we'll get to that. But anyway, that's X-Force. All right, halftime question from Joe. Should new teams that come in and gut the character and give it a fresh look like Frank Miller did with Batman, or what's going on with Miss Marvel, should that writer be credited going forward? The character is what people will learn and love the most. What do you think?
No, not at all. I mean, we would have co-creditors I mean, 50, 10 pages long right now. You'd have to have 10 pages of co-credited creators for Batman every single book from now on.
Right.
Now, I think what probably needs to be done is anytime someone, especially when we're talking media outside of comic books, I do think creators should be credited if anything from their runs is used. So I don't care if I don't know. Jeff Lemire was only on 5 issues. If they decided that arc was cool and they want to include it, Christopher Nolan comes in for movie 4 and wants to use that arc, Jeff Lemire better be credited with it, not just Bill Finger and whoever created them in the 30s.
Right.
But as far as like comic books are concerned, it gets really messy. I mean, because then you're like, who all do you create or do you credit? The writers, the artists? Are we going to do colorists? Are we going to do letterers? Are we going to do editors? So, I don't know. That seems too messy to me.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Not that I feel strongly.
I think
I'm being serious. Like, I think I made that sound like I feel strongly about it.
I think when I think it's appropriate to credit somebody with a certain version of a character if that storyline and or comic is adapted into the TV show or movie. I think that's when that is appropriate for that version of that character. If it is truly what if that writer wrote and it's being adapted into the movie or television show or whatever form of media, I think that would be my answer. So
yeah.
Anyway, back to DC, we've got the Unstoppable Doom Patrol issue number 4. We have therapy session with all of the whole team, getting a little bit of backstory from older characters and newer characters, kind of their history. Overall, I liked the issue. I thought it was a lot of fun. I don't necessarily know a lot about the Doom Patrol, so for me, it was eye-opening and kind of like a little quick little rundown about some of the characters that I don't really know well, and getting a better perspective of them. So I liked the issue. Did it feel a little bit fillery? Yes, but we're kind of halfway through, right? We need a transition issue, right, to get to the next part of the story. So is it necessary? No, but did I want it? Yeah, kind of. I liked it. I thought it was a fun issue. I liked kind of getting a quick deep dive on every single one of the characters, whether they're a new member or an older member of the Doom Patrol. So
yeah, I could as a slight critique though, I could see how someone who's a long time fan of Doom Patrol going, what did I really gain here? I gained one page worth of content, and it felt an odd place to do this. Issue 4 of 7 seems like a really strange place to do this, but I would say that overall I thought it was really great. The art was really good. I think we learned enough that it keeps me intrigued, even though I wouldn't say necessarily that was lacking. But I am very curious because I know nothing about any of these characters.
Right.
And the one cliffhanger we were left on is that the character that we didn't get any information with, except that she's clearly lying about one of her multiple personalities.
Right.
So now that's obviously not going to be too big of a story because we only have 2. So I don't know how that's going to make sense anymore, unless we get to issue 7 and they go, just kidding, we're going to keep going, which they have done before. So be nice.
And Joe, I totally get what you're saying. This was the worst one of the run so far. I learned this issue was made after the original 6 mini. They promised this was more like an annual than anything else. It does feel like an annual. It does.
And I could have sworn this was solicited as a 6 issue. So now that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put it here. It did feel very shoehorned, and okay.
I wonder if this is the same response to Night Terrors. Like this almost could have been a Night Terror. Like if the therapist had been more of a character within the Night Terrors thing, this could have totally been that, because like we're diving into their insecurities, we're diving into their fears. So it could have been that, and I don't know where I'm going with that. But anyway, I didn't not like the issue, but it didn't. There was clearly a difference. Like there was a different artist. There was the tone is different. You know, the shift is different. But it didn't bother me. Like it didn't bother me.
No, I mean I still think I enjoyed it overall.
Cool. World's Finest Teen Titans, issue number 1.
That's Chips. Pick of the week.
This is my pick of the week. Your face, total disgust.
You know what this is?
What?
What did I just do? I hit a home run because you're a homer.
Shut up.
Lord. I knew you were gonna love this book.
I'm not okay. What's wrong with that?
I mean, there's nothing if you like.
You're being so. Shut the fuck up. You're being so judgmental.
I'm the judge.
Yeah. Like, what are you, Sylvester Stallone and Judge Dredd?
Yes.
You've been waiting. God damn it. Anyway, Anyway, World's Finest Teen Titans. I genuinely liked this book. I didn't have high hopes for it. I was giving it a shot because it was Mark Waid, but I liked it. It outside of Robin, I know nothing about these other characters. I know nothing about them. And it felt very insightful, and it felt I enjoyed a DC comic, guy. Like I enjoyed a DC comic that wasn't Superman or Batman. And I don't know, like it just, to me, World's Finest Superman, Batman, and now World's Finest Teen Titan, Waid seems to be doing something that a lot of other DC books don't do for me right now, which is get me genuinely excited for DC Comics. It just, it checked all the right boxes in the sense that I, again, don't know anything about the characters, and I felt genuinely involved in the story that Mark Waid was telling in the book. Were there some corny shit in it? Yes. But I kind of expect that when we're talking about an OG team, right? Like it's and is it a retcon? I'm sure that we're going to do the same thing that we did in World's Finest, where we're retconning certain things so that when we get into other parts of the DC universe, it's up to those writers to play with those materials that Mark Waid works with. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's really bad. But Waid at least sets the foundation for that. And I felt, I don't know, man. I just liked it. Like out of everything that I read, I was genuinely surprised by the book. And I was genuinely intrigued and wanting to pick up the next issue. So I had a lot of fun with it. I really, really like Robin not being able to share his identity because Batman's such a dickhead about it. Like I thought it was. Did you read this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with it.
I wasn't shit talking you for no reason.
No, I mean
I had to
smack you in the face.
No, you're getting smacked in the face by something.
Shut up. Okay, continue.
I think there's enough value here. I'll read issue 2. So there's that. I understand that, like, I'm being a Jim here when it comes to continuity. To me, it makes no logical sense for a Teen Titan to be using hashtags or talking about live stream or having cell phones.
I knew it. I knew you were going to.
Are a 70s,
drone.
80s sort of thing, and like
Yeah.
it just it feels like it ruins my suspension of disbelief, is what it is, and it feels awkward and clunky. But I will say, I don't know anything about these characters at all, and there is enough here that I want to see more. I will say that I am pretty turned off by Speedy at this point.
100.
Like, well, I
that's on
understand
purpose,
you're not
though.
supposed to like him, but what I'm saying is, I didn't want to. I at one point wanted to stop reading the book because he was so irritating.
Well, now you know how Robin felt.
But I don't care. I don't need to be irritated, that much. You don't want to irritate your readers so much they want to stop reading your book. Then you've gone too far. There was also a couple of really bad Mark Waid trying to sound hip and cool were like
When
little flubs of what was
when
he
I
trying to
read
say?
when I read those bits that were talking about, like hashtag this and that, I was like, Nate's gonna fucking hate this, like hate it.
It did bother me. I don't know that I was just like hating on it so much, but like I wish I could find the one. There was one that really got me that Speedy said. I was just like, yo, come on, like we.
I like what Joe said.
Children aren't reading this book. The people that speak the way he's trying to make it. First of all, those kids don't talk like that anymore. By the time a man is old and is out of touch, as Mark Wade realizes what kids are saying, the kids aren't saying that anymore. So you don't sound like what the kids sound like. You sound like an old man trying to sound like it's bad. It's bad.
Vibing, dude. You're vibing. Go. Keep going.
There's enough substance here that I'll read issue 2. That's about it for me.
That's my pick.
I also didn't realize like what is Bumblebee's context in all of this stuff. I know she's not like if she was an original Teen Titan, she sure wasn't there for very long because I don't remember a few issues I've read.
Well, and see, that's the cool thing about it.
Right, that is one of the pluses of me staying around. I literally didn't even know Bumblebee was a character, except my daughter has a kid's like heroines book, and it's like this is Wonder Girl, this is Superwoman, this is Batgirl, and Bumblebee is one of those characters. So I was like, I've never heard of her in my life.
Same.
Katana is another one. Don't know who Katana is.
Bet.
He's in my daughter's little 2-year-old book.
Anyway, this is my pick of the week.
John,
I
they don't.
had fun with it. All right, let's talk about our last book of the night, and that is Fish Flies issue number 1. There's the Peach Momoko.
Now I remember what I was gonna say. It wasn't a question to Disciple, but I was gonna say my favorite word of the week was esoteric. That he said last week about swan songs, of like that feeling of just like esoteric horror. I very much felt that while reading this book.
Yeah. This is a weird book.
You did read this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I thought you might get a few pages in and go, bleh.
No. I was, and you know what really sold me was the artwork. Was just like the way the story flowed with the writing and the artwork. Like it was. I genuinely had a fun time with it. But this book is fucking weird. Like it's, and I'd almost say just a tad predictable, just a little bit. Like, the minute I saw the murderer in the field covered in bites, I was like, oh, he's gonna turn into it. Like this, like he's gonna turn into it. But this whole dynamic with Franny and him, that's where it gets weird for me. Like I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then I read his explanation essentially to the book.
You read the back too?
Why is that fucking surprising, Nate? Shut the fuck up. Stop it.
You
Stop
don't even
it.
read backups with literally 1/10 of
because
the
I
amount
don't
of words.
want the backups. Okay, I don't want them.
Literally, one of the best stories that has been released in all of 2022 was a backup, and you didn't read it.
Don't want the backups, but this is him, man. This is all his shit. So I'll give him my attention. God damn it, I will give my attention where it is due. Okay, and it is due here. And I read it, and I even after reading his explanation, I was like, this guy's fucking weird in a good way. In a good way. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not going to read issue 2, but
No,
I actually genuinely contemplated for a split second if this was going to be my pick of the week because it was so unique and so weird and out there. But I couldn't come to do it. What are you laughing at? What did I do? What did they do?
You didn't do anything. It's what Joe said. We'll get it. Disciple. Yeah, that's he said feeling the same way. Esoteric. It is a nice word, and I feel like that applies to this book. John got the Momoko cover as well. Nice.
I almost got it.
Lemire's earned your trust, so you. I feel like with Lemire books on the first issue, I'm usually like, what's this fucking guy doing?
Look at
and then by the second I get there, but with this first issue, I was like, no, I'm totally in.
Look away. Oh my god!
Stop it!
This art makes Shooter Jr. look like Alex Ross.
Stop that shit! No.
Oh God, I mean, I'm almost crying.
All right.
I don't know.
This art is so much better than so much better.
I really, you know what I really liked about the issue?
That's the beauty
was,
of comics, is where you can all have these wonderful opinions.
well, yeah, that's why our show rocks. I really liked the all black spread pages where it just said crunch.
It was it was like it made me feel icky.
Yeah. Like it was just like like it went up your spine. Then Fish Flies looks like threes.
The Fish Flies look like threes. I mean, they're kind of like scribbly. Joe, you've read a Jeff Lemire book, right?
Patty,
or like
11 out of 10
art,
show.
Where he did the art, I mean. But I understand how his style cannot ever be style. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Art is so subjective that there's no reason for any of us to ever totally get it.
Well, Joe, aren't you glad that we weren't like, you got to go get this book? This is recommendation. Like, we didn't do that.
Love so much how he said that independent books act like they're all edgelords. Because in a lot of ways, you're right. In a lot of ways, I feel like there is a Joe. You know what it is, and I don't want to make an age comment because I don't actually have any clue how old you are, but as two guys that are in their mid 30s, we're seeing a lot of.
Now.
Huh?
I'm in my late now. I'm 36, bro.
Well, okay. I was rounding you down and me up because I'm 33. I'm in my early 30s. So
you're baby.
Our generation, and I would say borderline next generation, is starting to hit like their late 40s and early 50s and kind of go like, oh, like what the fuck with their life, and their emo phase is like they're hitting big round 2. Okay, Joe. So yeah, like, all right, you're not quite there, but almost. You're close enough. But I feel like a lot of these guys, like Jeff Lemire, like they're hitting like right at 50 years old, and I think they're starting to hit their edgelord 2.0. Like I just Rick Remender, it feels like another guy that's kind of like that. There's a few of these. I would say even Donnie Cates, even though he's our age, sometimes we get a little edgelord. But I think you're right. I think sometimes they can.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Please.
What does edgelord mean?
God, I'll have to teach you a class, man. I don't know how to.
You can't tell me?
I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's so.
It's edgelord.
It's. I don't know how to explain it.
Joe, what's edgelord mean?
If someone else feels like they can explain it better, please do.
Well,
Joe
you
said
didn't explain
Facebook was great, and the art is the same. The writing is the driving. Sure. Yeah, he did the art for Mazebook too, right? Because he's doing a lot of the stuff he does. Somehow always like.
Oh, dang, Patty. But I started my own business this week officially. I've been working 9 years. I wish felt. That's dope, dude.
That's dope. Man.
That's fucking sick.
23. Oh my god.
Man, I wish I would, like I'm getting close, but not quite
close,
there yet.
Yeah. We'll be opening our bookstore.
Well, that's happening. It will happen. And then John says, we're young. Luckily for me, I'm writing a writing guy. Art can be bad, but if the stories connects, I'm down. Yeah, okay. I will be picking up issue 2 of Fish Flies, but I don't know how committed I am. But I just kind of want to see this dynamic between Franny and the dude, the fish fly.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to be too long either. So there's only three total issues. So.
Okay. Well, then I'm sure there. Good observation. I respect Lemire's writing, but I am just not a fan of his style of writing anymore. Also, I find it interesting that he essentially started this book on his Substack.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of changed. So we actually have a variation that's kind of in its final form in physical format rather than in digital. So,
yeah.
And he definitely plugged his Substack. He's like, you can go check it out, like if you want to buy it. Anyway.
Oh, so
all right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week's live show of Two Fat Guys Pull Us, issue 140, or live episode 140. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this as a past episode, we appreciate you being here. And thanks for watching our little news segment right at the beginning. know that we're gonna cut that out and we're gonna shoot it out into the internet again. So everyone that watched this live, go make sure to go watch that again and give it some views and some clicks and some likes, because we'd much appreciate it. We will sketch you guys again this Tuesday with a new comic book day video. That's let me look at it here really quick. I can't remember. I think it's kind of a short week, you know, really, because
I think it's like 8 to 10 books.
We're not really doing Night Terrors, so what are we gonna talk about? Like,
oh yeah, I read Night Terrors 1, by the way, and
Blech.
still don't get it. Maybe if you're like a diehard Deadman fan, maybe.
Let's see. So next week, okay, all right. There's a couple. There's one miss that I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it, but then everything else seems pretty fire. Man, there's Avoid Rivals, yeah. But anyway,
#1 from DC. That's interesting.
and we also have a Boom book that I'm pretty stoked about. But we'll get to it in new comic book day video. So make sure to watch that this Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That will drop, and then catch us live again this Sunday. Not this Sunday. This upcoming Sunday, where we'll talk about all those books and more, and hopefully we'll have just as an enthusiastic and awesome show like we did tonight. I think tonight's show is up there. It's probably a top 10, top 5 show. I had a lot of really good time tonight with y'all, and I'm really glad all of y'all were here to watch it. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Be kind to one another and read more comics. Later. Outro. Let's see here. I'm kind of pumped to see more Deadman, by the way, but can be a trade or something later down the road. Maybe dollar bins. Yeah. Awesome show. Thanks, John. Have a good evening. Thank you, Knox. Thank you. The hardest part was the name, deciding the savvies. Oh, yeah, about your business. That is so dope, dude. Stranger Thing TMNT crossover was great. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys in the next